Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I apologize for the delay there. My screen was black, and I wasn't sure when I was going to start, and I didn't want to say something important and have you guys miss it. My name's Kyle with Black Rocket. We're here to bring you details on two new courses this week: Inventors League and JavaScript Developers Jam. The first one we're going to talk about, I believe, is JavaScript Developer Jam. Today we have Amanda with us, who's different from the last couple weeks when we've done this. So let's all give Amanda a warm welcome. She's an absolute expert on curriculum. She's been doing it for years and years. So I'm really excited to see the stuff that she's going to tell us about these two new courses. Before we get started, I want to let everybody know that we have a lot of new activities launching this spring and summer. And if you've been here before, you know the link I'm going to give you right now, blackrocket.com/online. That's going to tell you about our live esports events that we have every single day. Our virtual open houses that we'll have every Wednesday through this month. So I think we have one more after this. Also, be sure to subscribe to us right here on YouTube, youtube.com/BRP Clips. You can also follow us on Facebook at Black Rocket LLC. And that's going to spit out all kinds of different event reminders for you. So that's a great resource to find out what's going on, especially if you're looking for something to do during these quarantined times. We also have some premium learning options available. This month, we're wrapping up our coding sampler courses. And then next month, we're going to start our game design sampler courses. So that's going to focus, rather than this month was more on the code behind, that's going to talk about more like that more that high concept design stuff. So those are also really interesting. And I'm really excited for those coming up next month. Next, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to throw it over to Amanda here, and she's going to tell us all about JavaScript Developers Jam.
Okay, thanks, Kyle. I appreciate that introduction. So yeah, the first class we're going to take a look at today is our new JavaScript Developer Jam course. Okay, in this class, students are going to learn the basics of JavaScript by completing a series of digital challenges. And then they're going to move on to more advanced concepts by creating interactive 3D experiences and games using a 3D game editor powered by JavaScript. Now, the first project students will be creating in this class will be similar to creating an image filter that you would see in Instagram or Snapchat. So they'll be using a web-based IDE or integrated development environment to complete these series of digital challenges. You can see we'll start off with block-based coding, but then we'll move into more advanced concepts, and you can actually type the code from scratch. So the next thing students will move on to is using variables and arguments with JavaScript to make their very own graphics. And you can see this really cool Pikachu image I have created here inside of our web-based development environment and using JavaScript. So we have all of our different code over here, and then we adjust the placement of each graphic inside of our scene. From there, students will learn how to add text and customize variable values to make their very own memes. So we have this really awesome Doge meme up here on the screen, and kids can really have fun with it because they can bring in their own image graphics, they can take pictures, and make a meme with themselves if they want. They'll also learn how to organize data into arrays to make their very own stop motion animations. So we'll allow kids to find images online, or they can create their own pictures to create a stop motion animation. Now, in addition to these digital challenges students will do in class, they'll also have continued access to this web-based coding platform after camp. So they can continue exploring and completing projects and move into more advanced supplements. The next part of this course is going to focus on understanding JavaScript advanced techniques by creating 3D web-based games. We'll explore different games powered by JavaScript and then learn how to make our own. So these are some different samples that the kids would take a look at using the platform we'll be editing in class. Now, before we get into coding these games inside of the 3D game editor, students are going to have to learn how to create objects, lights, and materials in a scene. Once we've covered the basics of using the 3D editor, we'll learn how to program JavaScript behind the scenes and actually modify the code for these games. So this will be a little bit more advanced than the digital challenges that they start off the weekend because we're actually coding from scratch. We're not using block-based coding. But our editor will still have very key things like bug finders to help us figure out if we have any glitches in our code. Now, once students have an understanding of the 3D editor, how to code in JavaScript, they'll be able to explore and find their own assets to make their own 3D game with JavaScript. Now, some related classes, if you like the JavaScript Developer Jam course, we also have a few other coding classes that you should check out. So we have our Code Breakers class where you can learn HTML and CSS coding. We also have our Code Your Own Adventure course that covers coding for text-based games, and it also has some design elements and animation in the course. And then our Python Programmers class. So yeah, that's it for the JavaScript.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that information, Amanda. I'm really excited. And if you're like me, maybe as soon as you saw those memes, your brain started turning about the kinds of memes you're going to make, and maybe you think you missed some crucial information. You can either go ahead and put those questions you might have in the comments below. I've got someone monitoring that right now, so any pressing issues right there would be great. If you think of something a little bit later, you can actually email help@blackrocket.com, okay, and that'll be able to get you in touch with one of our coaches who will be able to get you whatever information you might necessarily need. If you have something that you think of later, but is also a very pressing concern, you can actually head to blackrocket.com, and from 9 to 5 Eastern, you can actually chat live with one of our coaches there, so you can get your questions answered lickety-split right away. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to toss it back over to Amanda, and she's going to talk about our next course, Inventors League. And I'm really excited about this one because it's brand new, and so I'm really excited to learn all I can about this one.
All right, thanks, Kyle. So yeah, I am also very excited about this course. I feel like our Inventors League prototyping for the future topic is more relevant now than ever. With everything going on, we want to empower students to create their own inventions, to learn how to make 2D drafts, turn them into 3D prototypes, and then create a digital showcase of their product. Now, we'll also be covering different rapid prototyping techniques and how to conduct usability testing in this class. So not only will students be coming up with their own ideas and inventions, they'll be able to test them out on their fellow peers and classmates or family members at home so they can see if they need to make any tweaks to their inventions before they move forward with their designs. Now, some of the things that we'll be covering, each week we'll have a showcase. So we really want to inspire our young inventors with some unique inventions. So things like biodegradable plastics for toys or robotic pollinators to help the environment, or even things like space-bound farm containers where they do hydroponic, growing vegetables in space, which is pretty amazing. And we'll also take a look at really great contributions by young inventors. Like we have some examples here, a 14-year-old who created a water filtration system using only corn cobs, which is a very accessible invention in countries that might not have, a lot of money to create their own water filtration systems. And then we also have a 16-year-old who created this recycling initiative to prevent fishing line pollution in his local area. And that's really amazing. So he made these containers for anybody who's out fishing to just dump their fishing line, and it floats in the water, and that'll prevent them from tossing it overboard and it getting tangled up on any of the sea life or anything in the area. And one of my favorite inventions that we'll take a look at is a 13-year-old who created a robotic earthworm. He coded it, came up with the idea, and this robotic earthworm helps find victims of natural disasters. So essentially, it can move into areas that first responders might not be able to access, and it can scan the area for heat signatures and then report that data back so people can help find those anybody who's trapped after a natural disaster. So these are some really inspirational inventors we have here and inventions. So we just want to give our kids who are taking the class lots of ideas before they get started on their own concepts. Now, next, after kids have some time, to come up with an invention, something that they think will address either a local issue or maybe something in their community or something they've just always liked to see, you'll learn how to create a sketch inside of an image editing software. So you'll turn that idea into a 2D prototype draft. You'll learn how to draw it and add color, and then we can save that image out to incorporate into our digital portfolio later on. Now, after you learn how to create a 2D draft of your prototype, we want to move into 3D modeling. This next step will allow us to bring our inventions to life. We'll cover different concepts to show students how to convert those flat 2D drawings into solid 3D images. And then we'll render out different images that they can include in their digital portfolios as well. Now, after students have created all of their different products, they have their 2D images that they've drafted, they have their usability testing that they'll conduct with their groups and their peers, and they have their 3D model renders. They're going to add all of that content into a custom website to showcase their work. So we'll cover techniques for web design using a template, and then how to come up with a mission statement and a logo and add things to your prototype gallery. So this will be a really fun way for any young inventor to take what they've learned in the class and bring it home to show family and friends, and then maybe even change the world. Now, if this class sounds really inspiring and interesting to you, you can also check out our 3D modelers and designers class, Maker Labs Create Your First 3D Print. Now, this class focuses on 3D asset creation for 3D printing. And we cover lots of different techniques, just to get you started so you know how to create your models for 3D printing and what works and what doesn't. All right, so that's it for me. I'll switch it back to you, Kyle.
That was awesome. Seeing those kids with the really cool inventions both inspires me and kind of puts into perspective what I've done with my life. So maybe I need to sign up for that kind of course to get inspired and get out there and change the world. So I think that's great to see. I want to thank everybody for coming here and joining us today. Once again, that key link, if you remember one thing today, blackrocket.com/online. That's going to be your hub for all the different things that Black Rocket can offer you during these quarantine times in the spring, summer, and moving forward. That's where you want to head. That's going to be live esports events every day. That's going to be these virtual open houses that we have one more of next week. That's going to be where you get those premium online learning courses. That's your hub for everything. Again, if you have any questions that you think of, help@blackrocket.com, or if it's 9 to 5 Eastern, you can actually catch a live chat with a coach from at blackrocket.com. So once again, I want to thank everyone for being here. Next week, we're going to hit 2 really cool courses, 2 that I'm really excited about as someone who's really passionate about esports. We've got Rocket Kart Racers, and we've got Battle Royale coming up next week. So I want you all to come back here and join us again next Wednesday for that. Once again, subscribe, youtube.com, blackrocket /BRP clips, Facebook at Black Rocket LLC, and one last time, I know you're going to get tired of hearing me say it, blackrocket.com/online. Once again, thank you everybody, and I hope to see you here once again next week.